Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Acting Career Expert Studio. My name is Dan Warner. Today we're going to be discussing how I booked a Netflix show off of a self-tape. Before we get started and I tell you how that went for me, I just want to remind you again about the actingcareerexpertstudio.com website. It's coming very soon. It's going to be fantastic. There's too many things to list for me to remember, so I'm going to just tell you what's going to be on the site. It's going to be fantastic. I think there's going to be over 70 or 75 in the beginning anyway, workshop videos. These are lengthy, in-depth workshop videos that tell you about each subject in the world of acting. And it's going to be a very sort of soup to nuts kind of website where beginners, intermediate, advanced actors can learn absolutely everything they could ever possibly want to learn about acting. It's going to, we'll have a Q&A. We'll answer all of your acting career questions, course progress and career development tracker, video response feedback, individual course notes, interactive strategic career plan, live Zoom coaching by me, interactive forums, and the list goes on and on. But it's going to be just a really great website, so you should check it out, actingcareerexpertstudio.com. So let's get to the subject at hand. The big question, and I know it's a buzzword, but people are like, how do you audition for a Netflix show? And how do you audition, how do you get on Hulu or Amazon or any of these? So the short answer to that question is Netflix is, obviously the streaming network, and your auditions come in the same way they would come in if you were doing a film, same way if you're doing a network show on CBS, NBC, HBO, Showtime. My agent, there was a breakdown that got put out for this new show, and the show's I'm not sure when the show is coming out, but the breakdown came out. It's a new show. It's going to be on Netflix, and I get an email from my agent saying they want you to audition for the role of so-and-so. So turn in a self-tape. And so what you have to do is you go over your script. They send you the sides. They send you the description of the character. Then you do your homework and you read. And now because the show is not aired yet, I can't really go and watch Netflix and watch the show and then get sort of the tone and the feel of the show. That's very helpful if there's a show that's already in progress, if it's season 2 or 3 or 4. But if it's just season 1, you have nothing to go on. I looked it up. It gives you a vague description of what the show's going to be like, and so you have to put those elements together and I hate to say this, but sort of hope for the best, like hope that your choices are strong. And the one thing about your choices is you have to commit to those choices. You can't sort of waver when it comes to that kind of stuff. You've got to make your choices and then commit to it. So I rehearsed the scene. Then I got a reader, and I had the reader read opposite me. I did the scene. I thought it went pretty well. It was through Actors Access, and so I submitted it through that. They call it EchoCast, and it's on the Actors Access website. And you go on to Actors Access, and they've got a note saying, hey, we'd like you to audition for the part of so-and-so for the show Beef. So it's very simple. You just click accept, you click download media. So then I shot my footage on my cell phone. I always shoot it on my cell phone. I don't need any big fancy cameras or microphones or any of that because I shoot it with a blank background. And so my phone is close enough to me that the microphone from the phone works just fine. So shot it at my place, and I had a seamless blank background behind me, great light coming at me, did my lines like I thought they should be done, took that footage and loaded it from my airdropped it because I have an Apple products, but loaded it from my phone to my computer, went on my computer, went on to Actors Access, EchoCast, upload media, uploaded the 2 clips because I had 2 separate ones. I had the scene and I had the slate, which was separate. And I believe they wanted a full body, and I have the full body slate hack video here on my YouTube channel that you can check out. So then, once I got it loaded, you hit submit, and then it goes off, and it says, congratulations, you've submitted. The casting people will be alerted. So, didn't hear anything back. 5 or 6 days later, I got a call that says you're pinned for beef. What pinned means is that means that they want to hold you for the show, and then they give you a date. So they say you're pinned for, the 10th or 12th or whatever that is. That means you're not booked. You did not get the job yet, but get ready because you may have. They probably only pin 1 or 2 or maybe 3 at the most people for one role. You can get pinned. They also call it being on hold or being on a veil. You can get pinned, or you can get on a veil or be on hold and not get the job. It's interesting about that, because I always told my agent, I said, don't tell me that I'm on a veil. Don't tell me I'm on hold, because I don't need to know that I'm close. Because then when you don't get it, you go, because I was on hold, I thought. So I told him at one point, I said, I'd rather you just tell me when I book it. Don't tell me that I'm on hold or I'm pinned for it. But he said, do you really not want me to do that? I said, no, you should probably tell me. Because you have to make plans that, possibly you're going to be working that day. Okay, so that's pin, avail, hold. I think it was the same day. So I got pinned for it in the morning around 10 o'clock. And then later that afternoon, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they said, congratulations, you've booked the show. Now, it was weird, because I thought, beef, that sounds familiar. Not that I'd seen the show, but I thought I could have swore I'd auditioned for that before. So I went back onto my emails and looked up beef. Sure enough, I would guess 3 weeks ago or something like that, I had another audition for beef for a completely different part. Now, here's what's interesting and great about that is I auditioned, and here's the other thing. Here's why I didn't know that I had, it was familiar, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, I already auditioned for them, because as soon as I get done with my audition, I send it in, I forget about it. I'm out. I don't need to sit around and go, God, I really want to get this. I hope I get this. Like, you have to do your best and then forget about it and just move on, go on about your day. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy trying to figure out, well, am I going to get this? Am I not going to get this? You're going to be super anxious. And the truth of the matter is, you're not going to get about 85 or 90% of the things that you audition for. You're just not. So this is our business, man. You go out there, you audition, and you don't get it most of the time. So there's no sense in really sitting around and being anxious over that. So as soon as I send in my audition and I click send and I get my confirmation that it went off, I am moving on, man, to the next thing. I go take a walk. I go whatever I have to do. I work on my website. I do all kinds of different stuff. If you're far enough along in your career and you have a really important self-tape to do, I recommend you get a private coach. When you get a private coach, the one thing I recommend you do is you vet the private coach, meaning you do your research on this private coach. Check out their IMDb. That's a great resource. Make sure they've been doing it more than 10 or 12 or 15 years and they have more than 50 credits on their IMDb. Because otherwise you're going to get some knucklehead who's been doing it about 6 years. They've got 7 credits and 5 of those are short films. They don't really have a great grasp on how this goes. So you want someone, a veteran, who's going to give you adjustments, and they're going to be the right adjustments or better adjustments than someone who doesn't quite know. When I found out that I had auditioned for it before, what that told me, and this is something that if it happens to you, it's a good thing. And I have a lot of clients that are complaining right now that they're sending their stuff off into a void and they're not getting any feedback. Well, here's your feedback. If you don't book the job and the same casting director calls you again for anything, not just for the same show, but for anything, that means you did a great job and they like you and they want to cast you in something. So that is a big, big win, and take that as a win and put it in your win jar and do all the stuff. I've got all the other videos about that stuff. Surf around, you'll find it. But it's a huge thing when a casting director calls you back for anything else. And again, it doesn't have to be the same show. This happened to be the same show. That's even better. That means they really liked you for the show, but you weren't right for that one part. And I have another video of, I think it's called 10 Reasons Why You Didn't Get the Job. And the common through line there on 10 Reasons Why You Didn't Get the Job is there's a bunch of reasons why you didn't book the job. None of them have anything to do with you. None of them have anything to do with your performance. They wanted a black guy or a white guy or a taller guy, shorter, older, fatter, balder, less hair, more hair, afro, whatever, third arm. You don't have a third arm. So there's a bunch of reasons why, maybe you didn't match up with the wife or the kid that was maybe yours, or 1,000 reasons, nothing to do with your performance. So I thought I had a good read with the first audition that I did, and apparently I did, but they didn't book me because they're gonna book someone else. Or if they really like you, they go, gosh, this part's too small for this guy. We'd like him in a bigger part. That happens too. So bunch of really great things happen when a casting director calls you back for another show or the same show. So that's how I booked a Netflix show from a self-tape. And that is going to be the norm, I think, from here moving forward. I don't know what else I can tell you as far as any other information that I can give you that would help you. This came through my agent. You can also book Netflix shows by self-submission on Backstage or Actors Access or LA Casting or Casting Frontier. There's a bunch of casting sites out there. So you can do it via an agent. You can do it via self. And it's out there, man. It's available, and you can do it. You too can book a Netflix show from a self-tape from the comfort of your own home. If this video was helpful at all, then hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. Go to my site, actingcareerexpertstudio.com. If you have any questions or comments about anything I've talked about today, leave them in the questions and comments section. Also, please give me your feedback on my new studio. New look, desk, computer, picture behind me, plants, director's chair. Pretty good, pretty professional, right? Do you like this one the best? How's the light? How's the sound? Tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to stop making videos and you'll never hear from me again. And I'll join the circus. I'll do it. Swear to God. Okay, now I've been promising you this, and I'm going to deliver this time. And that is, we're going to play, who said that? I'm going to give you a movie quote. You're going to tell me in the comments and questions section the name of the movie, the name of the character, and the actor who played the character. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Who said this? I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to happen as soon as possible. Oh, isn't that great? Okay, that's it. I will be here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, or whenever I decide to put the video on. That's what I'm going to do. And there you have it. Who said that? Booking a Netflix show based on a self-tape. ActingCareerExpertStudio.com. I'm done plugging everything I'm going to plug. I will see you next week.